Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Caston. And after a big Game 1 victory for the Nuggets, everyone's thinking if the Heat don't absolutely suck, they might win that game. Patrick, what do you think about the rest of the series going forward? And do the Heat have a chance to upset the Nuggets?
I mean, maybe it's not even an upset, Josh. Maybe it's the Heat can just prove that they are a better team. Look, Josh, if they can just make a shot, all we're asking for is just a couple shots here and there, the Heat might be able to get this series done. Josh, I am not an expert, but this is something that I do want to get into a bit of the stats here. When Max Strus and Caleb Martin combine 1 for 17 from the field, probably not going to win the game. Probably not.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, they got it within 8, I think, with like 4 minutes to go.
Which was great because they were borderline getting blown out.
And that was the first time that was clearly the best they were doing in the second half. I mean, it was like 10-point deficit plus for the entirety of the second half. They come in and they try to make a run. If they could just make like a couple of shots, really, they might be in this game. Now, counterpoint, it seemed like Jokic could score whenever he wanted to. I was watching him, and he just throws up the ball,
just throwing it up,
and it goes in.
He looks like the kid when you play in elementary school that's just taller than everyone. Yeah. So he just gets every rebound if he misses, and he just puts it in, and it's like, well, what can you do?
And it's also, I mean, his passing. He's like, because obviously, if he has the ball, the attention's on him, and then he just goes whoop, and throws it to somebody else.
Just
very tough.
Just want to give a shout out to Cody Zeller. Had a rough night covering Nikola Jokic, but shout out to him. Learned that he is still in the NBA, still making paychecks, still earning the dollar. So congratulations to him, Duke University, and all his brothers that have gone there.
Of course. Now, one player that I think is going to get talked about a lot today, and so I think we also talk about him, Jamal Murray. I mean, like, that dude is on a streak right now. This is 6th game in a row, 25 plus points, longest of his career, best. I mean, or longest of the season.
Some would argue he's tearing it up right now.
I mean, that is, and that's tough, and that's the definition of a guy who, like, when you show up in the playoffs, that's what you want. Like, maybe he doesn't need to show up in the regular season.
Yeah, maybe. Would you rather have a regular season player or a playoff player?
As long as you get to the playoffs, that seems like that's all you need.
And if we know anything from the NBA, it's pretty much everybody makes the playoffs.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you count the playing game as the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at over half the league.
Yeah. Now, Tyler Hero coming back, either game 2, game 3. Do we know the official word?
We don't know, and it's unfortunate because we're not inside Tyler Hero's medical camp.
No.
We're not inside the Heat culture at the moment. So you know, we're not privileged to that information at the moment. But would have to think a guy that's coming off a broken hand, can he come back and just light it up? Because, like we said, Josh, the Heat they struggled putting the ball in the basket, and that's a main part of how do you play basketball.
Well, if you think about this, Tyler Hero, he has one broken hand. That's only 50% of the hands that require to shoot.
Right, you got to
so say that hand is only 50%. He's 75%.
Well, and we know, he's at 75%, which is 75% in the finals. You argue, I mean,
you're pretty good. I mean, most people are banged up a little bit by then.
I know, because you got to think the rest of the body's pretty healthy, because he gets the time off.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with Michael Jordan's son, Jimmy Butler's just going to tell you, hey, you got one healthy hand, just use the other one. And so, you know, we expect big things out of Tyler here.
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm actually excited to see what happens when he comes back, if that changes things up, because the Heat they've been balling without him, right? Now everyone's going to say that they went against hurt teams, whoa. You have to play your opponent.
You have to play your opponent,
Josh.
Josh.
That's what they were doing, and so yeah, that's part of it. Cool. Well, we'll see what happens in game 2. Excited for that. Adam Silver comes out and he was asked a question about Ja Morant in the ruling, and he's like, basically, he says, we think needs to be a punishment. We'll give a punishment or not.
And we're gonna wait until after the finals.
We're gonna wait till after the finals.
Which is like, why would you wait till after the finals? Because it's like, if you give the punishment now, it's like, yeah, you distract from like game 1 of the finals, but then everybody talks about the finals Whereas when the finals end,
Well, no,
and then
because
you
think
give-
about this: when the finals end, there's going to be a solid few weeks there before Kyrie goes to the Lakers, where they're not going to have too much to talk about.
Wait, so you're saying so this is a form of all publicity is good publicity?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I think so. You know, they want to. I think they want to make sure people are talking, and they want people to go, "Oh wow, like way to go, the league really taking
Way to really take
taking
a strong
stand."
stance. And then this is just they're just building up the John Morant comeback story, because then John Morant comes back and they're like, look at this guy, man. He really turned it around. He really,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the NBA may be looking at this as a win-win situation.
What if they give him like instead of like a game suspension, they give him like hey, like you get like a 6-month suspension from the league starting now, and then
It's like, yeah, starting now, like we understand that like 4 months of those going to be off season. Like, I'm really sorry, John Morant. Like, you're gonna miss training camp.
Yeah.
But hey, we make a lot of money on Christmas Day, and we need you back that day, okay? Because everybody knows NBA season doesn't start until after Christmas.
exactly,
It's So I mean,
Well, I'll be interested to see what the Ja ruling is. It feels like
that Ja ruling, yeah.
Ja Rule.
Big.
It feels like the way Adam Silver was talking about it. I feel like it's not going to be that harsh.
Well, it sounded like he said we got some new information, and it's like, is that good new information for John Morant, or
It's a prop gun.
was it a prop guy? Was it maybe is John Morant filming a movie?
Yeah, or maybe it's playing airsoft.
Yeah, could have been playing airsoft. Everybody loves a nice little Nerf war.
Oh yeah, bingo.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that could be happening in the situation that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So before we cast any judgment, we're gonna wait till the facts come out.
Well, and we're gonna wait, 10 to 14 days for the NBA Finals to end.
Yep, and then we'll readdress this.
Well, and then we'll readjust and reevaluate when we will
Yep.
make the announcement. Because you just got to think, Adam Silver made the announcement
Yeah.
that he's going to make the announcement.
Not that.
Right.
Yes, you're right. Cool. Staying in the NBA, the Celtics have made a breaking announcement. It's that they will be keeping head coach Mazzulla.
Joe Mazzulla. There is nothing more reaffirming, Josh, than having to announce that your head coach will be back.
Yep.
Because he just signed a long-term extension. So there should not have been a question.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been a question because, let's be real. So he was the not substitute.
He was
intermediate.
interim.
He was the
interim.
interim.
Yeah, we'll call him interim.
He was the interim head coach, right? That's what he was. And that's what he didn't have like a long-term deal at all. He wasn't like officially signed. It was
Right.
an interim coach. And then after that season, the Celtics
Not even after the season. They saw half a season, Josh, and they said, you know what? This is good enough.
they said, hey, this is good enough. And then they went and they go, okay, we're going to give you a long-term extension. They give him that extension.
And of course, if you're Joe Mazzulla, you go, where do I sign?
Exactly. So then they lock him down as the coach. And then obviously there's a little bit of he's heavily criticized in going into the postseason now. Yeah. And they just want to remind everybody, hey, we did our homework.
We did our homework.
We evaluated this guy, and don't doubt us. Now, a lot of people would say that coaching was the big different reason that they lost. Somebody said, Charles Barkley was like, I think he came out and he essentially said, listen, coaching and it doesn't really matter in the regular season because if you have really good players are going to play really well. But then once you get to the postseason and the playoffs, that's where actually it comes down to coaching that actually makes a difference.
Right.
And that made sense to me. Now, I'm not saying that he's a bad coach because I don't know what to look for when I'm seeing coaching.
He's also a rookie, Josh. He's a rookie. I mean, look, you got things to learn on the job, right?
Exactly. Hey, if we know anything, it's that even some of the greats started out in a tough spot.
Tough spots.
So
But,
I think
it's good.
Spoelstra was almost fired by LeBron James.
Well,
That's
well,
true
if
story.
we go-
They were like, hey,
Josh, if we look at the amount of coaches that LeBron James has been through in his career, I would argue Eric Spoelstra is a saint.
oh yeah. I mean, well, nobody's arguing that, but he did. LeBron did try to get him
Trying to get him out of there,
But they said he said no, we're staying with him.
Pat Riley was like,
And-
no, hammer down on Eric Spoelstra.
And you know what? That same year they went on and they made it to the finals. So worked out.
Yeah, and you know what? And here's a couple things working out for Joe Mazzulla here, right? You're with the Celtics,
Yep.
rookie coach. They say, hey, we'll give you another season.
Yep.
It's also a situation where maybe the Celtics running low on money. We remember storied franchise, Las Vegas Raiders couldn't fire Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Because of low on cash there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Celtics have that issue, but maybe that helps Joe Mazzulla. You give out the big long-term contract.
I don't think they have that issue, but maybe that is a part of it. I think that you just say, hey, this guy can coach. You guys don't know basketball if you guys don't think
you
this
guys
guy
don't
can
know
coach.
ball, and that's and you get guys like us, and it's like you just don't know ball.
Yeah, and so you're right. Maybe I don't know ball. We'll figure that out. Moving on to the NFL, Tom Brady makes a big announcement. I was in a burger place last night watching as he was making this announcement on the TV.
Right, because they turned every channel. It was hard to miss last night.
It was hard to miss. It was right there. Tom Brady, certain he's never playing again. Now, I love that the lower third read, Tom Brady speaks about retirement or something like that. I mean, because we were on the edge of our seats. We didn't know. Tom Brady can confirm will not be playing quarterback for the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now.
Or ever again.
Right now. Well. But Josh, what if we maybe have a couple more announcements of these coming out in the coming days? Maybe no or never?
It hurts me to say. Especially when, listen, I saw those clips of Baker Mayfield in Tampa.
And Kyle Trask.
I didn't see the Kyle Trask.
Well, it was right after, and it was not much better.
Oof. Well, I saw those clips, and it just made me go, Tom Brady
could probably do better.
It could definitely probably do better, 100%. And so it is a shame that it feels like he's on the sideline when he has a lot more to offer, but he says, I think he's sticking to his word this time. I don't think he's going to unretire twice.
Well, what if we... Yeah, but Josh, he could become the first owner player, really.
Which would be awesome. Is that even like a rule, though?
Is it a rule? Because then he doesn't have to... Look, we always talk about, all these quarterbacks be taking up salary cap money. Well, no, he's going to take nothing because he's going to bring in people to the stadium, and in return, he'll get... That's what we call an ROI, return on investment in the industry.
There's a chance. Did you know, this is kind of a sidetrack, did you know that the NBA passed a rule where now, so that owners can play, or players can be owners, or vice versa, whatever. And so, and they're just, people are just calling it the LeBron James rule because it feels like they specifically just made that for LeBron James.
Yeah.
Because what other player is in the financial position to be able to own a team?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, is he coming back?
Yeah, you think Jordan might have a few left in him, you think?
Oh, that's what. Oh man, I didn't realize.
See, that was
so. If he wants to play with the Hornets, that's why they pass it because they're like, listen, Hornets are so bad right now.
Well, and he saw LaMelo on the court, and he said, you know what? I think I might be able to turn this into my new Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's not happy with Jordan.
No,
at all.
Hasn't.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about a relationship that's probably gotten worse.
Yeah,
I think it's them too. Yeah.
Is it because Scotty's daughter?
Well, we get Larsa thrown in there. We get, I think Scotty's a little bit mad. He doesn't get the credit.
He did say Jordan was nothing without him,
which is
I guess if you look
interesting take there from Scotty.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen. Hey, he made what millions. Well, maybe signed a bad deal.
He did all right though. He did all right.
He did fine.
Now,
right? Yeah.
Now, but they are saying that LeBron James is going to contemplate retirement. He's going to retire. Then
Josh, there's no way he's retiring.
Then he's going to become an owner, buy a team, and then he's going to announce that he's coming out of retirement. He's going to play for that team, and then he's going to draft Bronny.
Number one.
Probably with the expansion pick.
Some people are saying Bronny isn't a first round pick though.
I'm saying he's not a first round pick, but
is that what your scouts tell you?
I'm saying he might not get drafted at all.
Oh, so we're talking about maybe the first undrafted MVP ever in Bronny James.
Yeah.
That's
So who knows?
talk
But
about
Tom,
a story that would be. You want to talk about just a kid from Akron, just a kid from where did Bronny James grow up?
probably somewhere in
Let's probably
the he probably was in Cleveland for a little bit, and then
Cleveland, then Miami,
and then he probably lived in Miami, and then if I had to guess, he's probably in
Cleveland
somewhere in
again.
California. Yeah, Cleveland again. Then California somewhere.
Yeah, but then they did ship him off. It's great because did he live at home when he went to school?
He was in California somewhere.
Was he in California?
But so anyway, so Tom Brady
Mm-hmm.
is not playing again, and we all need to get that around our heads.
Yeah,
and
we just
all
need to wrap it around.
accept that. And because
less than 100 days.
It's
less
not,
than 100 days to the football season. We need to wrap it around.
And I think it's unfair for us to have the expectation to Tom. It's unfair for Tom that we have for us to have the expectation that he's going to play again.
Because he just wants to be. What do all retirement guys want to do? They just want to live in the sunset, man.
Do you think there's a conflict of interest now that he's calling games and he's also has interest? Like what happens when?
What I think.
What happens when he's calling a game, Patrick? And you have experience in the booth. You're calling a game, but you got clear vested interest in one of the teams. What do you do?
Well, believe it or not, pretty much every fan believes that you hate their team. So maybe Tom Brady can just lean into it.
Fair. Moving on, the Vikings are looking to get rid of Dalvin Cook. Why
Possibly.
is that? Why,
Possibly.
Patrick?
Well, Josh, there's a thing, okay? And the world kind of lives by it. It's a huge part. There's death, taxes, and don't pay a running back.
Got it.
And I think the Vikings are looking at it and they're opening up the accounting books and they're going, well, we pay this guy a lot of money to be a running back.
Uh-huh.
Well, he gets hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can get this other guy that doesn't make that much money. And we put him in there.
Oh.
And maybe he's almost as good.
Okay.
If not just as good.
Wow. Okay. So that seems like a pretty black and white situation there.
Mm-hmm.
So so Dalvin Cook, he's good, but like, what do you do when you're a Dalvin Cook and then like nobody's gonna go, like it's gonna be hard for another team to pay you, right? So you're kind of
well, you get the buyout. You get the buyout, Josh.
Yeah, but then he gets bought out of his contract. He gets a little bit of money, and then what? But then he just like is gonna
sign for the minimum.
Sign for the minimum somewhere, and
sign for the minimum. Go ball out.
Yeah. Speaking of running backs, looking to sign somewhere, Ezekiel Elliott.
Still a free agent, Josh. Can you believe it?
Saw a post on the NFL's account of him training. Clearly, post was sped up. It was definitely just fast, and I was like, this guy's moving, and I was like, wait a second.
Some would argue technology these days, Josh, just getting out of hand.
He was ball. I was like, if this dude can move this quick, you gotta keep him.
You keep him. You bring him back. You bring him back.
But it does feel like there's a chance that it was sped up clip. Now, a lot of people are saying that his next venture is going to be in a league that's has maybe even a higher ceiling.
Up and coming, yeah.
Up and coming. It's the XFL. Mm-hmm. Now, I figured that because obviously our expansion team has not been implemented yet.
Right, it's still in the...
We're still in the works.
Yeah.
We figure out where Ezekiel Elliott will play via the tried and true wheel.
Okay.
So
Let's spin the wheel.
I have a wheel right now. Oh wait, play the sound. Boom. I think that's
good. That's good.
Good stuff.
Sound there.
Yeah. So then, okay, here we go.
Spin it.
It's the
XFL wheel.
It's the XFL team's wheel now. And 3, 2, 1. We're spinning. We're spinning.
In 2023, Ezekiel Elliott will play for the DC Defenders. Look at that. It's a juggernaut.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to see.
Back to the district. Ezekiel Elliott wants to go play for one of the best teams in the league.
Second best.
I said one of the best teams in the league. And he's going to get his wish.
Man, that'd be pretty crazy. Now, if I'm Zeke, I'm staying in Texas. I'm going to play for the Roughnecks. That's
No
just
state
me.
income tax.
That's just me. You don't have to move. You just take a
You
long,
don't move. You just maybe
long
maybe
drive.
a long commute. Long
yeah,
commute
it's
to work. Yeah,
couple hours. You know,
you can go Phil Rivers. You know, get
Boom.
get
the Sprinter van.
Heck.
Yeah, you're in a good spot. I do feel it is tough being a running back. Like very tough, and you get put in that position at a young age, and you probably feel pretty good about yourself. You're like, I get the ball all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like every play, they're handing the ball to me,
and I get to run.
Especially like your high school. Like that's great. Like
you're
you're
probably
touching
running 250 yards a game.
You're
right.
getting the ball every single time. But then it's like, if you ever do make it somewhere, it's like, okay, well, now my paychecks less, longevity less, pretty much replaceable. Yes,
basically
100% we're dependent on the offensive line. Yes,
yeah, you peaked probably your second year for
Yeah.
most running backs.
that's a real
unfortunate.
tough. That's a real tough.
It's an unfortunate
tough thing.
But then you got a league like the XFL rejuvenates your career,
Yeah.
and that's what they're
XFL is
about.
going to spark some life in this career for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Tank Davis arrested after already being on house arrest. So we don't have too much facts about this information.
I would argue we have pretty much no facts at all
We have no facts. We know this.
that he got arrested.
He was initially put under house arrest for, I think, 4 years. 200
4 years. I thought it was 90 days.
Hold up. I'm going to
4-year house arrest. Is that even possible?
No. 4 years, not house
Probation.
Sorry.
4 years probation. The legal system gets a little confusing.
Yeah. 4 years probation, and then also 200 hours of community service,
Which is good. Give back to the community.
and which he's probably doing anyway. So that's not even.
If we know anything about
anything
Tank.
about Tank. He's giving back to the community already. Don't need to worry about that. But he's happy to do it. Now this was coming from him, I guess, accidentally having a hit and run, injuring 4 people, including a pregnant lady.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll get you the house arrest.
Now, this is a big question. Was the 4 people injured, were they counting the baby?
Ooh.
So we really kind of go, maybe he injured 5 people.
Regardless, he's on the house arrest, but now he's just flat out arrested.
Yeah, now he's in jail. Now his lawyer has not given us any information, so we can only speculate. And I'd argue is that might be worse. He should have just kind of said, "Hey, this is what they're allegedly saying he did." That then we have something to work with. But now we're just going to speculate, and obviously we're going to speculate much worse than it actually probably was.
Yeah, he maybe beat a guy up.
We know well.
Well, he does that for his day job.
That's his day job. So I think, work and it could be tough.
Work-life balance.
Sometimes the work-life balance gets out of whack though, and you don't really know. So I would say that very tough to determine why he's in jail. We know that he's in jail, and should we give Ryan Garcia?
Is he the real winner?
Is he the real winner? It seems like it.
Well, shout out to Ryan Garcia. He, for as we know, he's a free man at the moment.
I think so. I think as from the information I know, he's.
That's good.
I think he's
I'm
free.
happy that your sources tell you that.
Yeah. So cool. Sorry, Tank. Hopefully everything. Hopefully this is that it's wrong. They're wrong. That you were innocent. Nothing bad happened. They got the wrong guy.
Wrong Tank Dave. Wrong boxer. Wrong Tank Davis.
Exactly. Wrong. They got the wrong guy.
They got the other boxer that's Tank Davis.
Baltimore. It's a busy place. Cool. Time for our last little piece of the show.
It's tradition.
It's the NASCAR preview.
Yes.
Now make sure you guys watch through the preview, because at the end of the show, you guys are going to want to hear something about how you can receive.
You don't even have to win it.
Some
You just
really
receive
cool things. So you want to stick through the segment. But this week we are in Gateway, Illinois. Now, Patrick, I looked at this track design a couple minutes ago, and
racing in the game too.
And did we race it?
We did race it.
How did we do?
It's okay. It's like New Hampshire. It's one of those tracks, but we'll see.
Yeah, it is a tough track. It's like it's not the most fun design, but I'm sure it's gonna be great racing. I'm sure it's gonna be great racing. And Patrick, who do you got this week?
I'm rolling with a guy who's already picked up a win this year, and I think he's gonna do it again. Okay, he's got Bass Pro on board. He's running in Illinois. He's bringing a little short track flair to Illinois. Go Martin Truex Jr., Josh.
Wow. I just realized we didn't even talk about the Chase Elliott suspension.
Yeah, Chase is suspended, as he should be.
That's subjective.
Subjective. It's pretty objective. I mean, you can't right rear hook a guy.
I get that.
I think that's pretty. It's like throwing. It's like throwing at 105 miles per hour at someone's head in baseball. You just can't do it.
Well. Here's the thing. What I'm going to say, this Patrick, was it an accident?
No.
Might have been,
but it wasn't, because you look at the data and there was nothing wrong with his car.
Okay, but it feels like maybe Denny had it coming.
Okay, but that's a whole different argument. that's a completely different argument there.
I will say Denny Hamlin's a little bit of baby about everything.
I love it.
You like him being a baby?
Oh, I love it.
I
love it because he's putting out content, man.
Yeah, I guess, but also it's the heel content.
It's working for him.
I get. Well, he's actually one of the most hated drivers right now, so I guess in that sense,
it's working for him.
And I guess he's in the news. Yeah, Chase Elliott suspended. Now, Denny kind of took a shot at Bubba Wallace there.
Well, yeah, because he's going to be fair about it. Like, his own driver.
You can't take a shot at your own driver.
He's okay with that. He called out his own driver for flipping the bird to Eric Almirola this week.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of like the new Denny, where he's just going to kind of call it as he sees it.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but yeah, this week, man, Chase Elliott, he's kind of been screwed this year. Well, he kind of screwed himself a couple times.
Well, I would argue probably the doctor screwed him a little bit, because he probably has some screws in the bones, just getting it fixed up. But that's not a medical expert.
No, I think it's been a tough year for Chase. That being said, I'm gonna pick a driver who, I think he's gonna do well. I think he's got a chance to
track that suits him well, Josh.
Yeah, it feels like a track that's gonna suit him well. I'm gonna go Kyle Larson. Cool. That's the show. Make sure you guys DM us on @Picks and Pancakes on Instagram to receive a free mug and
look at this,
a $10 McDonald's gift card.
Not sponsored by McDonald's.
Not sponsored by McDonald's, and U.S. states only. Also, make sure you guys go to our website @Picks and Pancakes to read everything that's happening in sports. We will see you Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. A peace.